fantasy, role-playing, and nerd culture are often celebrated today, Robert's campaign started during a time when people felt like they needed to play in secret.
Puta, bando de filho da puta, seus arrombados. Free the RPGistas.
They needed to play in secret.
In the 80s and 90s, it was certainly more difficult
Stranger Things, hein? Stranger Things.
to try
E agora Dungeons and Dragons no cinema. Dungeons and fucking Dragons no cinema.
to talk about or explain the game to people. I grew up in a very small town, and it was quite a conservative town. And so the town inevitably
Puta que pariu, hein? Esse aqui era a cara da nerdolada. Olha aí. Esse daí é o nerd raiz, porra. Esse é o nerd raiz. Esse daqui, ó. Ó, falta de queixo. O óculos. O olhar desconfiado. E a camisa do... Como é que é o nome? Aquele grupo de RPG do Stranger Things, Hellfire's Club.
found out that we were playing, and they didn't know what the heck we were doing.
Do nada, cara.
And they didn't know what the heck we were doing. And Dungeons and Dragons had very bad press at the time.
Tonight we begin with a story about make-believe adventure and real-life violence, and what some critics fear is a connection between the two in a game called Dungeons and Dragons.
Filha da puta. Você que tá assistindo meu conteúdo agora, por favor, pare tudo que você está fazendo, deixe seu like, se inscreva no canal. Isso vai ser muito importante pra mim. Muito obrigado e tchau.
Now called the Satanic Panic was going on at the time. Why does my son want to play this game all the time? Why is he obsessed about it? What do you
Vocês veem alguma semelhança com, pelo menos, a galera que tem a minha idade? 31, 30 anos, até um pouco antes, assim, sei lá, dos 25 aos 30, com Yu-Gi-Oh! Quem não teve a mãe queimando as cartinhas, não viveu.
doing to him? Are you a cult leader? I got called a cult leader, a communist, like all
Comunistas!
these crazy labels. When I watched Stranger Things, it obviously hit home for me.
It is almost here. What is it? What if it's the Demogorgon? Oh, Jesus, first.
Ah, mano, isso daqui, eu juro, isso daqui me pega muito, sério mesmo. Sério mesmo, isso daqui me pega muito. Porque me lembra muito da minha infância. Muito.
Robert strives to keep the stakes as high as possible for his players, especially when it comes to life and death consequences for their characters.
I want
Irmão,
death
quantas pessoas tem nessa sala aqui, velho? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8... O maluco tá mestrando pra 8 pessoas, velho.
I want death to mean something. I don't want this to be like a video game that you simply hit the reset button and you're just going to start a new character. So when your character dies, if you don't have any other characters, then you're out of the game. The game's over for you. And so when characters die or bad things happen, I have seen grown men weep at the table. And that's
Vocês entenderam aqui, mano? O cara... Se eu entendi direito, a pessoa que morre não pode voltar pro jogo, não pra... mas pra nenhuma campanha.
Stakes as high as possible for his players, especially when it comes to life and death consequences for their characters.
I want death to mean something. I don't want this to be like a video game that you simply hit the reset button and you're just going to start a new character. So when your character dies, if you don't have any other characters, then you're out of the game. The game's over for you. And so when characters die or bad things happen, I have seen grown men weep at the table. And that's something also. People who don't play are a bit disturbed if they hear that somebody who's been playing a character for a long time weeps at the table. But I'm trying to create emotion.
É isso, cara. Respeito total isso daí. RPG é o lance de você criar emoção na pessoa, pra ela tá realmente vivendo aquilo lá. É isso aí. Uma pessoa pode ter mais de um char, aparentemente. Tá, mas todos os personagens você sai da mesa. Imagina, você sai de uma mesa dessa? Eu ia chorar. Ficou meio obscuro porque falou que dá pra ter outro personagem também. Mas tá jogando o personagem há 20 anos, deve ser um baque de qualquer jeito. É isso, com certeza, né? Porque, tipo assim, você deve ser uma lenda na história dele. Então, todo mundo que joga com ele deve conhecer todos os outros personagens, né? De outras campanhas. Então meio que você cria um renome, né? Do seu personagem lá, né? Daí o cara morre. Fudeu.
I'm trying to create excitement. People are scared, and knowing that if you die, you could be out of the game, or that character that you put so much time in is now dead. Obviously, people's heart rates are up, there's emotion going on. So
Deveria colocar, imagina fazer um vídeo desse aqui, daí coloca tipo o negocinho do Big Brother, uma câmerazinha do batimento do cara. Porra, isso é uma ideia, hein? O batimento do cara aparecendo enquanto ele vai morrer. Dragão. Ah, e o cara lá com o coração a 180.
So I can't be shocked and surprised when that character dies that there's a show of emotion.
Maluco aqui tem um arsenal dentro da casa dele também, né? Acho que a campanha só não pode ir muito pro live action, né? Senão a galera sai decepada aí.
I have one daughter, and ever since she was a baby, she's been around this. I think maybe when she was 6 or 7 was the first time when she asked whether she
Ah, que fofinha.
could play. So she created a character as a fairy, and she still plays now. She's 20 years old. I mean, obviously, there's other stuff going on in her life, but she's been playing all the way through.
Eu duvido que ele mate a fada da filha que tem 20 anos de personagem. Eu duvido. E se aparecer alguém em algum negócio, ela aparece com a fada dela e alguém mata a fada, é como se Deus fosse castigar essa pessoa no RPG, né? Nessa campanha dele. Porque ele vai vir quente.
The interesting thing happens when she starts dating, and then her boyfriend wants to play. And of course, I have to tell her straight off the go, now, this relationship may not last forever, but the game's gonna last forever. So get ready, because I'm anticipating a situation when you break up with him, I can't break up with him. So
O cara escolheu. O cara escolheu o RPG, mano.
once I allow somebody to come into the game, I'm never ever going to stop them from playing the game. So, sure enough, that situation happened.
Tá louco. Essa menina aqui, velho. Essa menina deve ter tido a infância mais insana da história.
So it can be a little bit awkward at times. But it means a lot to be able to have my daughter play the game and to have her interested in the game. And she obviously knows what the game means to me, for sure.
Ó o homem. Ó ele.
I think there's an assumption that at some point we're all going to grow up and we're going to stop playing games. And so people always say, how does your game end? How's it going to end? And it's like, well, my answer is always, how does the world end? How is your world going to end? Well, it's probably going to end when I die. Well, for you it is, right? And so the answer is largely the same. It's much like life. More than anything else, the game represents friendship. And I find that friendship is based on planks. You need something to hold it together. So we may have gone to high school together, but as we go through our lives, unless we have a plank, we're not going to get together. We're not going to fly to see each other. So as long as I can keep doing it, hopefully for all of my life, I won't lose my friends. My basement's my sanctuary. It's a place that I can...
O cara ficou emocionado?
I won't lose my friends. My basement's my...
Lágrimas de um RPGista, hein? É, irmão. Lágrimas de um RPGista.
sanctuary. It's a place that I can come and I can almost as soon as I walk down here, I am in a different world. And it opens up all the doors of creativity.
Pô, como é que você me recomenda depois de um vídeo desse? Como o garoto ficou mestre em skate de dedo?